Hello, 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 and welcome back. Sure, that's the opening we'll go with. Welcome back to Even If Tempest. My name is Mitsu Midori. I'm a forensic scientist from the world of mysteries. And last time, we finally got to start an investigation in this investigation game. I'm thrilled. Your investigation will now begin. Question the Sacrificia and collect useful information before the trial begins. Information obtained during the investigation can be checked from the menu at any time. We may recall that we tried to do that last stream and found out that any time is a bit of a misnomer. Not all locations can be visited in the time allowed. You will lose a specified amount of time for each location visited. Continue your investigation until the witch trial begins at midnight. Is that all we got? So I did flip through, after I ended stream last time, I did flip through our articles in the clues menu off stream after the game, you know, crashed. Really hope that doesn't wind up becoming a recurring issue. I do know what we're looking at here. But for your sake, I'll pull up. The eccentricities of a painter loved more than a king. Man, we haven't done this bit in a while. We are to preserve the royal family's likeness for future generations. Better his art than a photograph. The man who made our very own king declare this is none other than Mail Diaz, 28. In his art is contained the hallmarks of genius, the incredible expressions, the unthinkably beautiful use of colors, and a sense of story unfolding on the canvas. His art brings many to tears, and even a simple sketch is said to be priceless. His talents led him to graduating at the head of his class at a Twile Academy of Fine Arts, but his mother says it was not his teachers that fostered said talent, it was cockroaches. definitely was a sentence you just wrote there. Yeah, don't elaborate on that or anything. Next up, I saw the ninja. This passionate statement comes from Thomas Unra, 32, one of the sacrificia chosen for the upcoming carnival. Ninja, of course, refers to the infamous chivalrous thief. They steal from heartless nobles and unscrupulous merchants and return this money to the poor. Why are they called ninja? Does this imply the existence of a Japan in this otherwise fantasy world? I don't know. I just work here. Thomas is one of many that find themselves taken by these righteous deeds. Despite his life being on the line tonight, Thomas speaks passionately about the thief. It was a moonless night. I was on my way home, drunk, when I saw someone running on the rooftops. Only the ninja is capable of such a feat. They're a lot more slender than I thought they'd be. Oh, wait. Maybe ninja's a girl? A girl? That's impossible. Despite his life being on the line tonight, Thomas fervently continues. I tried real hard to catch up to them, but I couldn't. See, I wanted to thank him. Ninja saved me once before, endless praise omitted. Absolutely shameful. Okay, so... despite what the game told us, we can't actually look at the clues menu at this point. So we cannot, in fact, go and check. But just take my word for it when I say there was more evidence in our clues list than these articles. There was a list of profiles on all of our sacrificia, including their alibis, although what we had to work with was literally everyone just saying, "It was goddamn 2 in the morning, I was asleep in my room." Which, you know, fair. There was also a list of rules for the carnival trials, which, this is the bit that stuck out to me, included the claim that the culprit, the one chosen by the witch, will have supernatural powers of some sort between the hours of 2 and 3 a.m., which is exactly what the time of death was listed as in the autopsy report. So, yeah. Probably not going to be the most brilliant locked room trick I've ever seen in my life. But we do have this to work with. Gee, thanks, game. I saw only the ninja is capable of running on rooftops. I'm presuming the culprits was given the ability to, like, either fly or at least super jump while they were under the witch's power. Which would mean they probably either went in through the window or just went up to see through the window and then ripped Maya apart with, like, psychic powers or something. That's probably it. Which means our biggest piece of evidence we have at this point is the claim that Ninja was a lot more slender than I thought they'd be. Maybe Ninja's a girl. There is, in fact, only one female other than ourself on the chopping block tonight. That said, I wouldn't be that surprised if they wind up ruling that Lucian is slender enough to fit his description, and come on, brain, I believe in you, you can do it, and Orla's presence at the carnival is just a red herring. Male also certainly looks slender enough to be described as slender by a witness. or something like that, but I'm continuing to operate under the assumption that he is a red herring, and that the big twist of this case is going to be that the witch is changed who they're impersonating as part of almost certainly them having the, like, awareness of alternate timelines and stuff. Because they're a witch. And what's the point of being a witch if you can't have multiversal awareness? Plus cockroaches. That's too weird a detail to be shared freely. That's where my brain is sitting right now. For some reason we can't investigate ourselves. I'd like to know how that works. But we should keep going in order. Show off everything we've got to work with. The Ice Prince's rage against the Inquisitors. Talented, calm, and collected. Handsome, more chivalric than even a knight. Praise of all kinds is given to Prince Lucian, 18. But His Royal Highness doesn't allow this kind of praise to get to his head. His politicking prowess rivals even the king himself. There is no doubt that Prince Lucian leads the race to the crown. Yet, not a single person in the castle has ever seen him smile, and it's said that hundreds have faced punishment at his hands. He's as tough on others as he is on himself. That is, as one person tells it, both a bane and a boon to the young prince. He reacts no differently to the Inquisitors. He berated them for not preventing the Membrum's appearance. After the sky turned black, he apparently used his own coin to try and capture the witch. He was lamenting his own incompetency, ignoring how he's now a sacrificium too. That's just the kind of person he is. Will His Royal Highness's wrath be sated at the trial tonight? I mean, I sure hope so. Then of course there's us. The truth behind the Knightly Maiden. This writer is why is this one scrolling by? What I'd like to know. Professionalism. This writer is confident our devoted readers are already well aware of that gorgeous knight who took the war games by storm. Her name? Anastasia Linzel, 18. There were 17 other Anastasias before her. They're all dead now. She's a peculiar young lady, having joined the wings of Garuda despite being the eldest daughter of a Marcus. Her dignified figure and gorgeous handling of the bow have stolen the hearts of many, and that number only continues to rise. Yep, this is your self-insert character, you my girlies. An individual in the printmaking business has this to say. I was quite surprised. I prepared my wares before the games with the knowledge that she'd garner some popularity, but they were sold out before I could even blink. Top 3 are currently Grand Commander Castlerock of the Wings, Prince Lucian, and Prince Conrad, in that order. And they've been that way for years. Someday soon I can see her climb to the top. And of course there's everyone's favorite person, the Rose of the Linzel family. Now, Princess Evelina Linzel turns 40 this year. Her beauty fades not a whit. If anything, she's even more stunning now. Since her debut at 16, she's been the center of attention in noble circles. This comes not because of her status as the king's younger sister, but from her own incredible influence. She boasts glittering blonde locks and a symmetry of facial features that comes right out of the greatest art. Any word she speaks from her shapely lips drips with elegance and grace. Man, I guess it was a slow news day. Yet not many know that Princess Evelina has a 16-year-old daughter of her own. Now, she doesn't resemble the princess very much. Is that foreshadowing that she is not a biological daughter? I don't know. It's possible. Said princess has the kind of beauty you'd see only once every 100 years if you were lucky. It's far too cruel to compare her to a mother of such a standing. So that's what we gotta work with. 4 + 4 + 3 + 3 + 2. equals more than 11, no doubt. So the thing that's going on in my mind right now is I'm questioning if we should be going after the people we suspect, the people we don't suspect, or the people who have evidence. I mean, what I'm mostly concerned about is whether we can screw ourselves out of actually being able to solve all of the contradictions by picking the wrong options. I really hope not. I don't expect so, but I won't be that surprised if we wind up getting bent over a table and told to just take it like that. If we question the people we suspect most, that would obviously get us a chance to chink away at their alibis, not that anyone really has one, or maybe catch them on a lie of some sort. We talked to good ol' I saw the ninja guy here. That might get us more info on what we're looking for. I still maintain this guy's a red herring. And I don't even know what's going to happen if we go after ourselves. I thought I was myself. If I'm not me, then who is me? I figure if nobody has any alternative suggestions, I think I'm going to start by questioning our two prime suspects. Go after Thomas, and then see how I feel based on what we get. Is that all great? Is that all good? Okay, cool. Let's go. Investigate this article? Yes, I think I will, thank you. Bloop. Going back home. My heart sinks when I take that first step. Oh shit, you're right. I mean, it's all for the greater good, but I really don't envy you. Sorry, I had to put you through this, Annie. "8 years ago, I got on hands and knees as I begged to go to the church. My intent from the start was to join the Wings, but I highly doubted a Marcus would allow something like that. Yet it was my father that gave me the most sports. He may have still had love for his 10-year-old daughter. Even so, he told me to never return once I'd left. Getting real mixed messages from you, old man. Nothing's changed at all. The background is exactly the same. All the furnishings speak to their luxury, yet have no character of their own. I wonder if that's the kind of thing that suits her tastes. This entire building is made of gold, which is actually not a very good building material. Just punch a hole in the wall if you had enough patience. Oh, there's that guy. The butler bows deeply, but only to the Grand Commander. When the Grand Commander realizes I'm being ignored, he scowls. Does the name Grand Commander imply the existence of an inferior commander? A lame commander, or possibly just an average commander? Maybe we'll never know. I remain silent on the matter, leaving him no choice but to continue the conversation. Good old dear Papa Lord Linzel doesn't have a character design, so I very much doubt he's going to wind up amounting to anything important. I've been misled by tricks like that before, but I don't think this is the sort of game that's gonna pull that.
あいにく旦那様は体調を崩されておりまして。
Master Combat General Brett Linzel. How many of you even get that joke?
医師の診断によりますと、内臓を悪くされてしまっているようで、起き上がることができないのです。
Oh no, not his organs. He needs those. At least 2 of them. Is it his lungs? 1 lung and a pancreas? His kidneys? His liver and his appendix? The possibilities are endless. Aha, this explains why I never heard any complaints about my becoming a knight. He wasn't in the condition to do so. Okay, I'm putting the odds that Evelina and or Orla are poisoning him at 68%. Kinda feels like I'm lowballing, but I don't want to theorize too far ahead of my data. Still, this is odd. He was perfectly healthy in my previous life. Does my leaving home have anything to do with this? Okay, 73%.
エベリーナ様は外出中にございます。オーラ様にはお話が通っておりますから、どうぞこちらに。
And he didn't even say please walk this way, so I can't do my usual joke.
あの執事はお前のことに気づいていないようだったな。そんなに長く実家に帰っていなかったとは知らなかったぞ。
Meanwhile, in the Barbie dream house.
そんなに苦しそうな顔をするなよ。責めているつもりはない。
You better not be, Criminy. You know what I went through. I'm pretty sure he knows what I went through. Did he? We told him our circumstances, right? Yeah, they mentioned that. I'm not wrong. I'm never wrong. You don't know what you're talking about.
ダメだな。どうもお前のことになると口うるさくなってしまう。
Yeah, you said it, not me. You're like that with everyone. The more downtrodden someone is, the more likely you are to reach out. I've seen it again and again. And because you stand out, everyone's attention winds up focused on who you're speaking to. And because everyone respects you, they all try to help too. Almost like society is shaped like a triangle or something.
よせ。大したことでもないのにいいように言うな。
It's amazing he's able to say that. And I'm sure he genuinely means it. We can look between his legs whenever we want to. I'm sure he'd hate me if I went much farther, so I keep my whisperings locked in my heart. This is what I respect about him. That's why I feel so betrayed by the tiniest action. Respect can turn into something terribly dangerous when taken too far. That's why I generally prefer not to respect anybody. Especially not a freaking detective. Yeah, you ever met a detective in real life, kids? They are the smuggest pieces of shit, let me tell you. Oh, and here comes the person I voluntarily signed up to talk to. Oh, great.
お初にお目にかかります。オーラ殿。クライオス・キャソロックと申します。
Put that finger down. I don't know where it's been.
もちろん存じ上げておりますわ。空水の貴公子のことを知らない娘など、この国には一人もいませんもの。
It's because he only owns that one green outfit. Man, you gotta spend more money on clothes. Even I changed out my lab coat, apparently, not that you all can see it. Orla's eyes glow with a fierce light. She is as enamored with the Grand Commander as most other women are, I see. It's been 8 whole years. Orla probably doesn't even remember me. Assuming she hasn't read the paper or heard anything from the Inquisitors, two incredibly reasonable assumptions, obviously. She probably won't recognize... Who would have thunk it?
もしかして、お姉様ですか?
Don't you take that tone of voice with me, young lady. Well... Surprise closes my throat, and it's not because she actually recognized me. It's because of the tears currently pouring from her eyes.
ずっとずっとお会いしたいと思っておりました。お姉様と暮らしたのはたった6年で、あまりお話もしたことはありませんでしたが。
Do you think I was born yesterday?
私はお姉様のことを片時も忘れたことはありません。どうして一度も帰ってきてくださらなかったのですか?
Because you changed the locks and I lost my key. I'm utterly bewildered. Is this the same Orla that used the servants to tease me? The very same woman who cackled as she chopped off my hair? The one who lied constantly about both those things? Could she possibly be lying now? Truly, it is unthinkable. Don't think about it too hard. Orla acted the perfect sister back then, remember? She's likely doing the same now. Okay, Annie, you aren't completely stupid anymore. I'm proud of you.
お姉様? どうして何も言ってくださらないのですか?
Because they haven't given me a dialogue option yet. I'm honestly confused. You said yourself we didn't talk much as kids. It's not like we're related by blood either. I'm not sure why you think of me so fondly as your sister when everything else says otherwise.
そうですわよね。いきなり妹ずらしたら驚かれてしまいますよね。申し訳ございません。つい舞い上がってしまいました。
Orla turns around to wipe at her tears. That movement shifts the dress at her shoulders for only a moment. But what I see there makes my blood run cold. The Grand Commander doesn't seem to have noticed. My loyalty to this household has been well and truly severed. But even so, I hesitate to vocalize what I saw. I'm sorry, sir, but would you leave us alone for a bit? I'd like to talk with my sister.
そうだな。俺もそれがいいと思っていたところだ。
お姉様?
You know, you're supposed to wear long sleeves for things like this. I gently grab Orla's shoulder. Who did this to you? Is this Yuri?
これはちょっとぶつけてしまって。
I mean, either that or it's a defensive wound from when she was committing the murder. Anything's possible. If you truly love me as a sister, then I want you to talk to me about this.
私がいけないのです。お母様みたいに美しくないし、賢くもない。少しもお母様に似てない。不出来な娘だから。
Horror grips at my heart and I feel sick to my stomach. My mouth goes dry as I take in what I'm hearing. And we can look at these now. These are all the same things we saw during the, investigation. The Linzale home. The horrible scars left on Orla's body are from her mother's abuse. Orla's testimony. It was all my fault. Not as beautiful as Mother, nor am I as clever. I'm not like her at all. I'm a poor excuse of a daughter. Alright, if they're scars like they're describing, they're probably telling the truth about them being from abuse, not from defensive wounds while committing the murder. Not that those would exist if I had gone and done the thing I was looking for. The thing I was theorizing about psychic powers through the window. As long as we're here... Maya's corpse was dismembered and her limbs were decorated around Anastasia's room. We know all that, we were there at the time. Here's our rules. Rule number 1, do not talk about the carnival rules. Rule number 1, the sacrificia, jurors, and facilitator must all be in attendance. I don't know what happens if we don't have all of them, but I imagine there's going to be a case, probably near the end, where we just completely upfuck the rules by getting that to not be true. Break the whole system. Remember, the carnival was established by the Witch of Ruin we're out to defeat, so eventually we're gonna need to stop playing his game. Rule number 2, one person must be executed. What happens if there's an accomplice? Shut up, that's what. Rule 3, the punishment will be decided via juror vote. Rule 4, debates will be held by the sacrificia only. No outbursts will be permitted by anyone else, regardless of status. Rule 5, trials will begin at midnight and must conclude within the hour. That's how you know that it's a fair trial. Rule 6, rule breakers will be executed. But only one person must be executed. Well, they say must, not only. Rule 7, member will receive inhuman powers for 1 hour starting at 2 AM, as I said, and you will see later the autopsy report lists the time of death from 2 to 3. Victory or defeat will be decided only within the halls of the courts. There's an Ace Attorney quote I could put here, but, you know. Alright, case witch member incidents. Maya Kirkland, 26, female, maid. Anastasia's time of death between 2 and 3. Cause of death, blood loss, murder weapon. Unknown, probably because it doesn't actually exist. We also have character profiles in our court record, as all court records do. Male Diaz is 28, court painter. Exhibited extraordinary talent upon his graduation from art school and subsequently chosen to serve the royal family as a court painter. The night of the crime, he was asleep in his room and no relationship with the deceased. Thomas Unruh is a merchant, 32 years old. A commoner, born into a middle-class family. Man, remember when that was a thing? Wild times. He was nearly worked to death at the shop he is currently employed at until the chivalrous thief ninja saved him. Sleep in his room, no relationship. That's what they were referring to earlier. Lucian Neuschburn, we are deeply familiar with. Third-born prince of Historica, 18, son of King James. Which one? There were like 80 of them, and his concubine. Though his feeble nature in childhood saw him as the candidate furthest from the throne, he currently garners such trust and high hopes for the future as to be entrusted with the Aeroship project. Sleep in his room, no relationship. Anastasia Linzel. That's us, you know who we are. And Orla, 16, female, young lady of a Marcus. Daughter to Princess Evelina, younger sister of the current king. Due to her mother's remarriage, she became daughter to Marcus Linzel, has only just made her social debut. Relationship with the deceased, none, but she is related to us, who is related to the victim. Same could be said for Lucian, but Orla, if she's bitter and jealous that she doesn't have the, that she took the brunt of Mother's abuse in this timeline because she ran away, she'd have a much more obvious motive to frame us for a murder. And given that if she is the culprit of the carnival, then a witch would have dissolved her heart, then it would make sense that she'd do something so ruthless, even taking into account the person she was beforehand. Maybe she's not a red herring after all. Horror grips at my heart and I feel sick to my stomach. My mouth grows dry as I take in what I'm hearing. That woman turned on her own daughter when I disappeared? Gee, I wonder who the bad guy of this game is. If it's probably not her. The mystery game, they gotta do some sort of twisty twist. I'd thought as a mother she would at least dote on her own daughter. It seems, however, that I was sorely mistaken. Though Orla isn't being locked away like I was, she is still very much being abused. She's felt a very different despair than what I had experienced. How hopeless must it feel to experience violence at the hands of your own mother? Considerably. It's considerably hopeless. The flames of anger that had been burning within me fade away to the faintest smoke. This younger girl in front of me needs someone to protect her. This is gonna be a sad case, I can already tell. I wrap my arms around her slender frame and search for the words I should say to her as the older sister. I'm beside myself with regret that I never noticed sooner. You've suffered alone for so long. I am here now, Orla.
お姉様。私、サクリファイスに選ばれたの。お母様は私のような娘を持って後悔しているとおっしゃったわ。もしこれでメンブルムだと断じられてしまったら、お母様に恥をかかせてしまうことになる。どうしたらいいの？
Well, I have some bad news and some good news, but mostly bad news. Orla, do you remember Maya? She originally worked here as a maid.
ええ、お姉様についていたメイドよね。クリームがかった髪の。
Don't talk about Cream. She was the victim in this case. I trust you, Orla. Must check all evidence. Victim Maya Kirkland worked at the Linzell residence until 8 years ago. Orla knows of her. I mean, we knew that. I guess the fact that Orla knew who she was means something. Especially in the first timeline where we weren't sleeping in the same room. So she wouldn't have been able to see us, she would have still known, but, well, we can't exactly bring that up as evidence, I don't think.
もちろんよ。人を殺すなんて絶対にできないわ。
Whatever you say, kiddo. She was never high on my suspect list to begin with. One of her lithe build could never tear a grown woman's body apart. Have you been looking at the evidence? It's your ass on the line here, not mine. I'm doing all this for your sake. You needn't fret over the trial. I'll be right there with you. Her eyes go wide, as if finally remembering that I've also been selected as a sacrificium.
お姉様の活躍は知ってるわ。先日の武術大会で優勝して、人々の称賛と祝福を得たのでしょう。本当に素晴らしいわ。
素晴らしい。
それに引き換え私は屋敷からほとんど出ることがないから 世の中のことをよく知らないし、お姉様ほどの人脈も人望もない。民衆投票なんてどうやっても不利だわ。
You know, somehow I doubt that's going to help me all that much. Don't allow yourself to get so pessimistic, Orla. I'll protect you.
本当？
本当に本当。Really, I promise.
ありがとう、お姉様。
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
お姉様、屋敷に帰ってきてくださる？
Oh, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. No. Goodness me. Are you kidding me? Return home with that lady and Brett? The man with the anachronistic name? I don't think so. No. There's no room for me here either. Ola shakes her head as a smile blooms on her features.
お姉様の部屋はちゃんと用意しているわ。カーテンからベッドのシーツまで全部私が選んだの。でも部屋一つだけじゃない。このお屋敷全部そう。
Does that mean you could have paired a feet to block blood splatter? I feel like they wouldn't have brought this up if it wasn't important somehow.
家具の位置を決めたり、調度品を飾ったりしている時間が一番落ち着くわ。
But they didn't add it to the evidence list, so I get... No, there it is. The advocate skill has been acquired. The nobles now look much less favorably on Anastasia. Gee, I didn't think there was a lower. 7 hours till the trial. 654... 3, 2... 654... Guess we've still got time to look at Lucian, and no matter what we do, I think I'm gonna stick with my original plan.
王子に会うというのが一番の難関だろうな。本来なら事前に申請して許可が下りた者にしかお目通しは叶わない。
Yeah, that's all really, really interesting. But first... Orla enjoys picking out furniture and decorations. Everything in the Lindsay household, from her curtains to the bed sheets, were chosen by her. That is incredibly suspicious that it's in this list. Alright, we don't get to know what we've got regarding skills quite yet. I sure hope that comes up in the tutorial. Prince Lucian.
実は君のことをルーシェン様がお探しなんだ。
Why is that brush so big? What are you going to paint with that? God, that bothers me. None of this sits right with me. Why did the witch mention his name? If his aim was only to earn my attention, announcing himself as my brother was more than enough. Is Prince Lucian truly searching for me? Or is claiming as much another part of the witch's scheme? Yeah, okay, I work here too, jack off. Mind your own business.
騎士団の中からもサクリファイスに選出された者がいるんだな。
I really like how the localization changed the gratuitous English sacrifice to sacrificium in equally gratuitous Latin. That is fun. Gratuitous Latin is always fun.
そういうことだ。リューシェン殿下からお話を伺いたいんだが、面会は叶うだろうか。
無理に決まっているだろう。
Wow, okay, I see how it is. Dick.
殿下に伝えてくれるだけでいい。武術大会弓術部門で優勝した者が訪ねてきたと。殿下だけが彼女の優勝を予想したと聞く。その結果、王の評価も高まった。殿下も彼女と話したいと思うんじゃないか。
それは、いやダメだ。エンブルムかもしれないものを殿下に近づけるわけにはいかない。
Man, you are undermining the premise of this entire game and the genre to which it belongs and its several hundred-year history. Do you really think that's more important than the life of one measly prince?
サクリファイスには異端審問官と同等の捜査権が与えられているんだがな。
I feel like they're trying to spin this as Cryus being really good at politicking, but he's literally just pointing at really basic rules.
こうも考えてみてくれ。殿下から情報を遮断してしまうと、裁判で殿下が不利になると思わないか。
Alright, that's mildly better. Alright, game, you're redeemed.
サクリファイスというものは味方同士でありながら敵同士でもある。そんな複雑な状況下で何の手がかりなしでいたらどうなるかわかるだろう。
That's you. That's what you sound like. Grand Commander's cool arguments plants a seed of doubt in the other night. We're only a single step away from our goal. Then the carpet is ripped from under us.
何をしている？騎士の仕事は立ち話なのか？
Who goes there? How dare you undermine my job? Why are there circles on your face? Parker Neuschburn, one of Conrad's younger brothers. He's one of Conrad's flunkies. I doubt he doesn't know of his brother's less savory endeavors. He looked down his nose at me from our very first meeting. I never liked being around him anyway. When the guardsman explains what's just happened, Parker scoffs at us.
事前の申し入れもなく王族に会おうとするとは不敬極まりないな。そうでなくともルーシェンと危険人物を引き合わせるわけにはいかぬ。早々に立ち去れ。
A silly creature. Let's go, Grand Commander.
そうだな。ちょっと待て。そなたはエンゼル家のものじゃないか？
Somewhere in Japanese history it was decided that the most pompous and spoiled of aristocrats had to have voices that crack all the time. It's a bit silly, really. Yes, I'm Anastasia Linzel, Knight of the Wings of Garuda.
やはりそうか。あのオーラ殿の姉君だな。
You know Orla? Your own cousin? Who'd have thunk it?
ああ、何を隠そう。この私がオーラ殿の社交デビューの夜、最初のダンスの相手を務めたのだ。
Alright, that explains why both her feet got broken that day. Orla's 16, 2 years my junior. So I suppose she would be making her debut around now. I never heard anything about Parker being her dance partner before the rewind. Makes sense that things have changed somewhat at the Linzel Manor compared to my previous life.
ああ、そのオーラ殿はお元気か。先日プレゼントを送ったのだが気に入ってもらえただろうか。謝辞の文は届いたが本心だったかどうか。
Oh, it definitely isn't. I'm about to politely tell him I neither know nor care about that nonsense, but the Grand Commander steps in.
そうだったんですか。あいにく彼女はリンゼル家を出ており、近所は存じ上げないかと思います。そうだろ？
Right. It's been 8 years since we've even
ですが、姉妹仲はいいようで、たまの休日はよく街で会っているとかいないとか。
Flawless. He won't suspect a thing. such a weirdo. The rat. Red Commander Cryas ends his lie with the vaguest statement yet, that Parker's selective hearing works in our favor.
Oh, そうなのか。美しき姉妹が仲睦まじいのは良いことだ。
Flirt. A dreadful shiver runs up my spine. Though I know his honeyed praise is just a performance, I still bristle at the sentiment.
もしオーラ様に何かことづけがあるようでしたら、この機会に伺っていただくと良いでしょう。どんなことでも姉を通せばオーラ様には気持ちよく届くと思いますよ。それもそうだな。
Please feel free to give me any useful evidence you may be in possession of.
プレゼントの感想をお聞きになりますか。いや、待て。そういうのをわざわざ聞くのは男らしくないだろう。
And of course, under any other circumstances, Parker Neuschbarn absolutely brims with raw sexual charisma.
オーラ殿はルーシェンを恋したっているという噂が流れているが、それは真実なのか？いやいや、それも今の段階で聞くのは良くない。ああ、今度私の主催で舞踏会を開くのだ。オーラ殿にパートナーをお願いしたいと伝えてもらえるか。
And we're able to get something out of this. I'd like to ask if the rumors of Lady Orla's affections for Lucian are true. If he's still into us, that could be an additional motive. Why don't you ask her?
よし、パーカー殿下のありがたいお誘い、ちゃんと妹君に伝えるんだぞ、アナスタシア。団長命令だからな。
Anastasia, you're surprisingly bad at this. Oh, those neurons finally touched. Everything finally falls into place when I see Parker's pleased grin. This man has feelings for Orla.
お前、翼騎士団の新しい団長だな。なんだかいけすかないと思っていたが、まさかこんなに話がわかるやつだとは思わなかったぞ。とんでもありません。それでは私たちはこれで失礼いたします。
Don't trust that smile. Or that smile, but you know, I feel like you didn't need to be told that one.
待て待て。こちらの頼み事だけ聞いてもらって返すわけにはいくまい。王宮騎士よ、ルーシェンを連れてこい。
Man, this is going great.
翼騎士団の団長とリンゼル公爵家の息女だぞ。何の危険もあるまい。
Thank God a competent villain's second in commands are always exceedingly dumb. His attitude has entirely reversed itself. A few sentences from Grand Commander Cryas have changed Parker into our best friend. This is the kind of thing I lack. I never think to read into anyone else's thought process and focus entirely on my own. I should learn from his example. The sympathize skill has been acquired. Grand Commander really is something else. I'm glad he's on my side. Ba-da-da-dow.
パーカー殿下。そう。
Oh, you don't even have a character portrait. Why do you think you can get away with acting like this?
なんだ、はっきり言え。
ルーシェン殿下には他言するなと命じられていました。
私だけならいいだろ。私はあいつの兄だぞ。
Okay, in obstinate royal guardsman's defense, you are at the absolute bottom of the royal family totem pole. For reasons I hope are obvious.
王族に逆らうならお前をクビにして違う騎士に確認する。実は
Guardsman whispers into Parker's ear.
なるほど、あいつらしいな。悪いが 弟は急務のため外出している。合わせることはできない。
Blue-balled yet again.
行き先も教えていただけないようですね。国家に関わることだ。許せ。しかし、私であれば協力できるぞ。
I highly doubt that.
私とルーシェンはとても仲がいいんだ。あいつのことなら何でもわかるぞ。
I highly doubt that too. You're right, says the man that regarded him no better than dirt on his shoes. Wait, maybe he's right. He ridiculed him in my past life, sure, but Parker's the kind of person that wants to get in the good graces of the next king. Conrad may very well be on Prince Lucien's side in this timeline. And I hope you'll allow me a few questions. Do you know if Prince Lucien knew the victim, Maya Kirkland?
市政の娘だろ。普通に考えて関わりを持つはずはないが、ルーシェンが手の内のものを使って街で人探しをしていたという話は聞いたことがある。
We've also heard those.
それが誰かはわからないが、その娘だったという可能性もなくはないな。
I wonder about that. Male Diaz, the Witch of Ruin, said Prince Lucien was looking for me. Despite it coming from a witch, I couldn't deny his claim outright, so I just sat on that statement for some time. If Parker is saying the same thing, then I know at least his attempts to find someone are true. Thank you for answering. If possible, I'd also like to know where Prince Lucien was last night. Probably not going to be anything unexpected. I've heard rumors Lucien was using... Yep, yeah. Gotcha.
自室に待機していたよ。それは間違いない。父上の命令だから。
Oh, can you now? There's one more thing I'd like to confirm. Has Prince Lucien always been so talented? When we were kids, I remember he kinda sucked quite a bit.
そうだな。幼い頃から何でも器用にこなすやつで。いや、違うな。
He used to be a total dweebasaur. I mean a real square.
子供の時は臆病で弱虫だった。私や兄上がちょっとからかっただけですぐに泣いて。兄上と協力してあいつを暗い書庫に閉じ込めた時は傑作だったな。ピーピー泣きわめいて痙攣まで起こして。
Well, it's glad to know you knew how to have fun as a kid.
閉じ込めたって言ってもたった2晩だけだぞ。まったく大げさなやつだよな。しばらくは次女についてもらわないと夜も眠れなかったらしい。
Urge to kill. Rising.
そんな情けない弟だったのに、いつからか変わったんだよな。俺や兄上が何をしても無視してな。学問や武術に打ち込んで、次第に周囲の評価が高くなっていった。何かきっかけのようなものはあるのですか？さあな、どこかで頭でも打ったんじゃないか？昔の方がずっと可愛かったよ。
How dare you accuse a man of being cute? Don't you know that's incredibly insulting to me specifically? I was hit with whiplash when I first heard Prince Lucien's sudden change. People can't change that easily, so what happened with him? I felt like some unknown power was at work. He suffered so terribly under his brothers. I'd been so worried about why he changed, but as one of his subjects, I should be happier knowing he's gotten stronger.
翼騎士団。今までただの金食い虫だとしか考えていなかったが、認識を改める必要があるな。あんな美人がいるんだし。
That's a hell of a thing to say re-examine your biases over. The elite now look more favorably on Anastasia. The elite. The elite. Okay, we've got 3 people left we can talk to. Only enough time to look at one of them. There's a part of me that thinks we should go over and talk to good old Tommy here, just to get more details on his obviously important testimony. There's another part of me that says we should focus on ourselves, see if we can't set up some defenses, because we are obviously the most suspicious person on account of, you know, being in the line of fire with the locked room murder. I'm still convinced beyond any possible reasoning that male is a red herring, but that's not proof we won't get any sort of evidence from looking at him. But I'm not holding my breath. You know what I think? I think we have enough to make a statement about what this means. And even if it doesn't, we can always just ask him during the trial proper, seeing as how it's, you know, relevant to what we're talking about. I think I'm gonna focus on seeing if we can't shore up a defense for ourselves. Already got evidence. That's unusual. I'm not seeing anything new here. That was weird. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. Printmaker in this article is you, isn't it, Mitchell Howard? Nerd! Remember, children, violence is never the answer. Violence is the question, and the answer is usually yes.
Anastasia,
I mean, I'm horribly traumatized and will probably never be entirely okay again. You know, that's pretty normal for me. Yeah, where's Landon? I came because I'm worried about Huma. Are you eating properly?
もちろんだよ。フマが絶食していたのは妊娠中で味覚が変わっていたせいだから。先輩たちの給仕をちゃんと受け入れてる。
I'm really curious what sorts of other pregnancy-friendly food we're giving her. Was that a long trial and error period? I'd like to know.
ただ、寂しそうにしてるみたいだから。早く肩をつけて戻ってきてくれよ。
I'll do my best. I should probably be going now. Not sure why I came here. Chotto mate. And I look at him. He looks at me. And I look at him. He looks at me. And I look at him. He looks at me. And he says,
あのインタビュー、何日も前のことだったんです。まさか、このタイミングで記事になるなんて思わなくて。
Oh?
あなたが大変な時に、浮ついた話をしてしまって、ごめんなさい。
I'm not bothered by it, really. I punched you because your forced act was bugging me. But I suppose that's also business as usual.
え？待ってください。アナスタシアさん、いつも僕のこと勘に触ると思ってるんです。
Come on, use use the transitive property. Oh, I hate 1/3 of my friends.
否定しない。もういいですよ。
Mitchell Howard would go on to invent Burger King and make a bajillion dollars.
裁判は民衆投票なんですよね。裁判前までにあなたの評判をぐーんと高めておきますよ。
Why are you a motorcycle now? Thanks to Mitchell's efforts, the masses now look much more favorably on Anastasia. Okay, that's not it's not evidence, but anyway, as I said, we do not have enough time to do another investigation, so I guess we'll just have to run with it. Time has flown by. With it being 11 p.m., there's not much else we can do. On this night of chaos, a fiendish moon hangs from the sky. The blood moon rises once again. Be careful, Link. Ah, they're doing a thing. I love it when they do a thing for murder trials. I should look over the information I've gleaned before the trial starts. I mean, I was doing that pretty consistently beforehand. I really hope this doesn't amount to anything. It's stuff we don't have. I personally feel like I could make a pretty decent case that Orla is the real culprit, but, God only knows what we have about to be thrown at us. Guess I'll just roll with it. Man, that ain't cool. Someone who's probably me is about to die horribly. Gambling? Is he really trying to make some coin from a trial of all things? Despite his grossly unethical conduct, not a single person around him berates him for it. Quite the opposite, in fact. Everyone puts their bets in with gusto. I feel sick. This is the kind of thing that would make me despise humans. Hey, maybe that's why the witch. Oh, I get it. I get it.
うちで独自に集計した途中経過を発表するよ。賭けの参考にしてくれや。
Isn't that not what you want? Is it? I mean, I'm not super knowledgeable at how gambling works, but isn't it bad for you when people win? And I guess you can set the exchange rate, but still, more money is better than less money. Yeah, that's not great. Perfectly predictable, but not great. Is that the, what we got? Book make his predictions. The fact that Male is below Orla and Lucian is, very surprising to me. I can feel myself start to panic. Sweat drips down my back. My hands are cold. My palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. I feel like the same woman I was when I was still locked in confinement. I don't consider myself reliable in the least. Can't believe I slipped back into that mindset so easily. What was the point of the past 8 years if not to get stronger? Pull yourself together, woman. Fear will only lead to my downfall. I desperately try to encourage myself, but it's not enough. No matter what I try to tell myself, the shaking refuses to cease. How long have you been standing there? Thank you for sticking with me throughout today, Grand Commander. If it weren't for you, Sir? Sir? Grand Commander. He leans against a nearby wall, his hand pushed to his chest. I watch as the color drains from his face. I mean, he is over 30, I'm pretty sure, which means he's like 100 in anime years. So it's not that surprising to have a heart attack. I'll find a physician.
行くな。じきに収まる。
This is why every senior citizen should have life alert. He pulls medicine from his pocket and deftly swallows it. The ease and speed with which he does so speaks to how long he's been dealing with this illness. Man, I don't even know how to dry swallow. You're pretty cool. Are you sick? Sick of dealing with these witches, hey-oh! But also, yes, I have 15 minutes to live.
今は自分のことに集中しろ。
I can't do that. I can't just remove you so easily from my thoughts.
熱烈な告白を受けているようだが、お前にその気は一切ないんだろうな。お前はそういうやつだ。
Sick and tired of losing the ones I love. If I lose you on top of that, I won't be able to handle it.
お前こそ病人みたいな顔色してるな。
Because I have a terminal disease. But what about the Grand Commander? He also has a terminal disease. The Grand Commander gingerly takes my hand in his.
震えてるな。何を恐れている？
Oh, you know, being set on fire and burning to death. I figured you could have figured that on your own. Everything. Of losing someone I love and of dying.
お前が？なぜ？
That's a weird thing to ask a person, my dude. Because if I'm found guilty in this trial, I'll be burned at the stake.
お前は負けないよ。
Yeah? Watch me. I mean, the obvious answer here is correct. I'm just thinking if that necessarily means it's the answer I want to go for on stream. Do we have confidence or no confidence? Right, fine, I'll gun for the good ending. His words ring hollow to me, but I could never tell him that. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Just fake it till you make it, girl!
納得できないなら正直に言え。お前にとって俺は取り繕わなければな。
Yes, absolutely. I'd be a failure as a knight if I so blatantly showed my weakness to my superior officer.
そうか。アナスタシア、俺は確かに病を抱えている。特効薬はあるにはある。しかし、素材が一つ足りない。そのせいで、この病と一生付き合っていかなくてはならない。
How convenient. What are you missing?
ガルダの羽だ。緑や青ではダメだ。赤い羽が必要なんだ。
How convenient. A red Garda feather. You have 18 Gardas in the wings aviaries, but none of them are red.
そう。今は確かにね。けど、クマの腹の中にはいるかもしれない。
What?
お前は俺に希望をくれたんだよ。
Well, considering the number of wrong answers I've given you, you probably shouldn't. It's a small fleeting hope. Red Gardas are the rarest of them all, even rarer than gold chocobos. There hasn't been one in the wing's care for decades. There's a much higher chance of Huma's child inheriting her sky blue color. I'm not so naive that I'd immediately vocalize those thoughts, but I also can't come up with anything encouraging to say. So all I can do is bite my lip in frustration.
ガルダは長寿だからなかなか子供を産まない。ほとんど諦めているところだったよ。
You have a very pointy face from this angle. Did you join the wings to cure your illness?
そうだな。最初の動機は生きるためだった。俺にはやらなくてはならないことがあったから。でも、ガルダと接するようになって、それ以上の感情が生まれた。この神聖な鳥を守り、育てていきたいと強く思うようになった。
Yeah, he does have a heart. Holy birds, Batman. Okay, joke over.
赤い羽のことは抜きにしても、ガルダの誕生に立ち会えることが何より嬉しい。お前はフマとそのお腹の子を救ったんだ。もう少し自分のことを信じてやれ。人は誰といても真の意味では孤独なのだから。
Believe me, I've noticed. Yes, sir.
俺は執務室に戻っているよ。この調子で裁判に立ち会っても、お前の集中を妨げるだけだろうから。
And there he goes, probably never to be seen again. I look down at my hand. The chill is gone, and the shaking has stopped. Grand Commander! I'll come out of this alive. He smiles at me before disappearing into the crowd with a lazy wave of his hand. That went poorly for him. 30 minutes left. May as well enter the courtroom. Oh, wait. Crap, I don't even know where the courtroom is. Even if Inquisitor Lister had already told me himself, I've completely forgotten. I have no choice but to go check with him again. And I make my way to the Inquisitorial Order to fully prepare for Inquisitor Lister's snide remarks to bombard my ears. And then a man appears behind me. Nothing personnel, kid.
これから私が言う通りに動いてください。
His voice is barely a whisper. The dark brown cowl he wears unfortunately prevents me from taking stock of his features. And obviously... Excuse me, I swear I'm good at this. And obviously his voice actor isn't helping me at all. That clear voice, though, rings with familiarity. Don't contradict my jokes. They're all I bring to the table here.
この先のマーケットを通り抜け、細道に入ってください。悪いようにはしませんから。
Clearly you are not suspicious. I'll do as you say, but you should know your phrase is nothing if not suspicious. Prince Lucian. I hear his breath hitch, but it soon evens out as the tension dissipates.
ずっと、この時をお待ちしておりました。アナスタシア殿。
After confirming we're alone, he removes his hood. And also the rest of his disguise, apparently. When I finally see Prince Lucian for myself, I understand that he's changed even more than the rumors imply. Even his stature has changed. He was prone to slouching in my previous life, but now he stands tall with a confident gaze. We no longer have anything in common. He's very much the picture of a perfect prince. I've heard you were looking for me. Does that claim have merit?
はい。あなたが教会に入られたと聞いてからずっと。でもどの教会にも在籍されていなかったので、とても焦りました。まさか翼騎士団に入団されたとは。
I do not like this, Lucian. His smug aura mocks me. I lied to my family. If I honestly told them I wanted to be a knight, I doubt they'd have let me leave the manor. Why were you searching for me?
それは。
Well, gee, when you put it like that.
幼馴染がいなくなれば心配するに決まっています。手紙も何度も出したのですが、音沙汰はなくて。
Okay, maybe when you put it like that, it sounds a bit obvious. You sent me letters. Sorry I left home before I ever had a chance to see them. They may still be at the manor.
いいのです。その、今さら読まれると恥ずかしいので、忘れてください。
He's fine, he's a bit cute.
このまま昔のことを懐かしんでいたいけれど、そうはいきませんね。
But okay, check my evidence. 8 years ago, Lucian apparently sent a letter to Anastasia. Unfortunately, as she'd already left home by that point, they'd never reached her. Where could the letter be now? My suspicions only grow stronger. Unfortunately, you're correct. The trial should be starting any minute now.
アナスタシア殿、あなたは今、とても危険な状況にいます。
I've noticed. Prince Lucian looks to me with a grave expression.
あなたと被害者の関係、そして事件の状況を事細かに民衆へと広めた者がいるんです。それも悪意ある表現で。
I see. So they all know now. Well, it was inevitable. I remember the last thing Rune told me. His warning not to use the fatal rewind in my current state weighs on my mind. I can't die. Everything ends if I lose my life tonight. It does seem fairly obvious when you say it out loud.
あなたに嫌疑がかからぬよう協力いたします。私があなたの味方であることを信じてください。
Yeah, okay, I am fairly confident in my reasoning here. I think you're probably on the up and up. Your Royal Highness. You've truly changed. You've gotten so much stronger than when we last met. I clamped my mouth shut before I thoughtlessly touched an experience I had not in this life but in the last. I study his features, hoping he doesn't find my silence strange.
それはあなたが一番ご存知なのではないですか。
The area around us warps. Colors and shapes mix together as all is engulfed by chaos. And now we're here. I've been chewing this over basically all stream. I think we're gonna leave off here. I don't know how long these trial sections are going to be, and I don't want them to go over time. If this winds up not being as long and complicated as I'm expecting, then we might be able to fit a investigation and a trial into a future single episode, but for the time being, I would rather be too cautious than not cautious enough. That might bite me in the butt at some point in the future. But until next time, I hope you all enjoyed ourselves. I hope it didn't spoil things too much, that I basically figured out the case already, assuming I did. Tomorrow, we will do this, same time. Maybe I'll be wrong, who knows? Anyway, goodbye.